Sup, my gamer friend? Sick of your FPS being as low as your neighbor's IQ? Bored of playing on low graphics settings just to avoid lag? Fed up with it all? Head over to the factory and earn some cash for a sick new computer. Or check out our video to learn how to transform your weak double-digit FPS into a powerful and stunning triple-digit number. No joke, in this video, you'll learn how to rev up your computer and squeeze out all its potential, but in the simplest and safest way possible. We'll go over game settings, Windows tweaks, drivers, and even touch on the processor. If you dig what you see, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a dope comment about the sick gains you've made using the tips I'm dropping in this vid. But before we start the main part of this video, I have to warn you that 1. The optimization result will directly depend on your hardware. The weaker it is, the less boost you will get. 2. By following the link in the description, you will get a huge gift in the form of a tank, ship, and plane, premium and 100,000 silver, premium and various backups, as well as experience boosters. If you haven't leveled up your account much, I recommend using my offer and creating your account because with free cool equipment and premium, you will be able to level up much faster and save nerves and time. Consider that in a week, you will get the same progress as in 2.5 weeks, but without our bonuses, there is a 50% booster and bonuses from premium. It sounds like an IMBA, so I do not recommend missing such a chance. Just a reminder, according to the system requirements, this is how everything looks. The game will weigh almost 100 gigabytes with ultra textures for vehicles, but honestly, that's excessive. It's enough to just download the full client, which is 44 gigabytes, and you can select it right in the launcher. Before we start tinkering with the hardware, let's shut down all the unnecessary stuff in the game, like cloud quality, shadow quality and reflections, object shadows and effects shadows, hot air effect, improved vegetation, caterpillar tracks and landscape deformation quality, and global lighting quality and shadow quality. These parameters, which are the least important, will give the biggest FPS boost. Just look here and here for comparison. I recommend turning them off because we won't pay much attention to these details, but they consume FPS. Everything else, like texture quality and water, you can lower them yourself if you don't have enough FPS, but only after we have done everything you will see in this video. Here is the result. Before optimization, after full settings, optimization plus in-game settings. The difference is huge in my opinion. Now, let's optimize your hardware. Let's start with Windows. We start with the base, namely in the search, we type Enable Game Mode and set it to On. Then we go to the graphics settings, planning the graphics processor. It makes sense to turn on this function if you have a weak processor. The positive aspects. The average and maximum FPS may increase. The negative, the minimum may drop even lower, unfortunately. Enable at your discretion. I tested it on myself for a long time and came to the conclusion that I personally don't need it. Next, what everyone needs to do is click Browse and find the Win64 folder in the game folder, and there is this shortcut. Add it. Then, Settings and High Performance. If someone recommends changing something in power consumption here, break their fingers. Friendly advice. If you increase it here, your hardware will constantly experience maximum load, even when you are just on the desktop and haven't launched the game. This leads to more wear and tear on components, higher power consumption, and the processor with the graphics card gets hotter, which is not suitable for us. So we only specify it here when launching the game. The next step is to go to My Computer, right-click on an empty space, select Properties, Additional System Parameters, Performance, and then choose Provide the Best Performance, and add Smooth Screen Front Edges. Click Apply and OK. We have just disabled unnecessary Windows decorations and set priorities for loads. Let's move on. Drivers. I suggest first deleting them and doing it correctly through special software. DDU. All links will be in the description. We go to the official website, scroll down, and download from any of the servers. Then, within 5 seconds, the download will start automatically. Then, we unpack the file and launch this window. We close the preliminary settings, and here we choose Video Card. It detected mine as GeForce. But if you have AMD, it will show the AMD panel, which is not so important. Then, click on Remove and Restart. But first, Add our video to bookmarks or send it to a friend so that it will be easy to find and continue the setup later. After restarting your PC, open your browser and download clean drivers depending on the manufacturer, AMD or GeForce. If you don't know which graphics card you have, you can find out in a couple of seconds. Press Win+R and type in this line. This is a shortcut to the device manager. Then select the video adapter and voila! There's your card name. If you have AMD, I recommend manually selecting your card on the official website. Then, the version of Windows and downloading the drivers with subsequent installation. For NVIDIA users, there is GeForce Experience. Install it also from the official website. When you first log in, you will need to log in through Gmail. The next step, if asked, is to choose the game-ready driver. There is also a studio option, but it is more suitable for various creative tasks such as editing and creating 3D objects. You need to choose the game-ready option that is intended for games. Then, check for the availability of drivers and click on the download button with subsequent installation. Links to official websites are also provided in the description, just below the link to bonuses in War Thunder. Then I will show an example with GeForce. Right-click on the desktop. NVIDIA Control Panel 3D Settings Management opens up this window. Global Settings. I do not recommend setting the Here settings, as they will affect the entire PC at once, on all games. But opening the Program Settings tab, that you must do. Here we click Add and choose from the list of software, War Thunder Client, and set everything exactly like mine. These settings will only apply to the running game and will provide maximum boost. The situation is similar for AMD, only there are slightly different names, but everything you need is on the screen now. Processor Configuration AMD. Yes, this section is dedicated to AMD fans, because it's no secret that this is the best processor out there. If you disagree, I'm waiting for your comments. But seriously, configuring AMD processors only takes a few seconds, and I haven't heard of any similar software for Intel, so I won't even bring up the topic of the blue stone. Sorry, that's just how it is. I'm not going to search for unverified information online, because if something goes wrong, you'll blame me. No, let's take AMD and safely tweak it with a saw. So, there is a program called CTR, Clock Tuner for Ryzen, and the spoiler is that it only works with processors starting from Ryzen 3 3100 and higher. Again, the link to download will be in the description. Here is a guide and a list of processors supported by this software. If you have found yours, congratulations! Download it using the links below and unpack the archive. Find the necessary shortcut and launch it. There is a warning: if you are a beginner, do not touch the settings and only click on the buttons that are highlighted in large letters. What we will do is go to the tuner and click on Diagnostics. I'll say right away, this procedure is not fast. After the diagnosis is complete, the program will automatically select the optimal frequencies and voltage for the processor, and then you can press Tune. This is a longer but more precise tuning specifically for your processor. I recommend doing it. The process will take about 30 minutes. Just warning you in advance. While it is being optimized, you can watch various reviews on our channel as an option to kill time. Then, after completing all the tests, go to Profile and pay attention here. There are two different profiles to choose from, one more powerful and the other slightly weaker. Choose the one you think is necessary, but I will choose the second one. Then set Profile Auto Loading. We're done with the processor. This simple thing of overclocking your processor is recommended for owners of Ryzen 5800X, as the stone slightly overheats out of the box, but through CTR, the voltage is lowered to a reasonable limit and at a locked frequency, in my case 4626. And here's what we have in the end after all the settings. The graphics in the game are at a cinematic level, and the FPS is simply fantastic. It used to be like this: higher temperature, lower FPS, and a fluctuating processor frequency, which caused the FPS to jump back and forth. Now, don't laugh, but I'll say the following. Summer is ahead of us. Heat is coming, which means you'll need to take care of your computer so it doesn't overheat. Make sure to clean it from dust and don't forget to replace the thermal paste. If you don't know how to do it, seek help from a specialist. If you play on a laptop, get a special stand with coolers. Overheating is a really bad thing, and it can not only kill your FPS, but also your hardware in general. And if you're thinking about upgrading your computer to get the maximum benefit without spending too much, take note. Get more RAM and an SSD.
It's preferable to have at least 16 gigabytes of RAM and install Windows and the game on the SSD. So get at least 500 gigabytes of storage and you'll notice improvements in game stability and speed. After that, it's all about price when it comes to processors. And lastly, the graphics card. To make playing really cool without upgrading your components, don't forget that our link to gifts in War Thunder is waiting for you in the description. A tank, airplane, boat, lots of money, and boosters with premium. In combination with increased FPS, this set of bonuses will give you unforgettable emotions from the game. Thanks for tuning in. If you found this video helpful, be sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe for more awesome content. We're always dropping fresh knowledge here, so don't forget to hit the bell icon to stay in the loop. Keep pushing those FPS limits, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out!